Good.
Alright, we should be live now.
You should be live streaming.
Yeah, I'm live streaming right now.
On Discord, monkey. I can't see anything.
I know, give me a second. I gotta grab the...
God. You're so stupid, Surfbone.
No, I'm not.
You're such a monkey brain. Like, who names themselves Surfbone? Are you like a bone that surfs? Like, what are you?
No, that's just, No, I was like... Have I told you the origins of the username? Surfbone?
No.
Basically,
no.
I was playing Pop Tropica when I was 12, and I was conflicted on what I should name myself for, like, my username, and my dad just came up with the name Surfbone, just, like, right off the bat. Okay.
So I noticed that you still aren't live streaming.
I am.
On Discord, monkey.
Well, give me a second. I need to... I'm still setting up shit.
Doesn't take that long to click share screens. Takes a click. 2 clicks. You did it, Surfbone. What?
Yeah. Alrighty.
I'm not a big fan of the thumbnail.
I mean, I can always change it, but that's just like something
No,
I looked
no.
up real quick.
Not that. I mean the
you're talking about
thumbnail.
you're talking about you're talking about MatPats. Oh.
Yeah. It looks ass.
Yeah. This is one of the first times where I genuinely just do not know what he's going to be talking. The only thing I know about what he might be talking about is based off of what he said in his last live stream on GT Live, which he said was he was going to talk about the Bonnie shit, and he was going to be defending himself on the whole Gregory being a robot.
Oh, I mean, if that's the case, then that's fine, but...
Yeah. Alrighty.
20-minute video, though.
Yeah. Tropica added some lore, yeah.
Yeah, dude got called a monkey. Damn straight.
Alrighty. So while this may be a little late, for those who don't know, Game Theory or MatPat just released a new video regarding the security breach stuff, and I feel like, from what I know, the Gregory's face does look weird.
Yeah.
That was one of the things. Freddy's hand is massive, yeah, that's weird. But, can make anything in... Game Theory can make anything in 20 minutes. True. He did say that, like, on, like, on the live stream, that they had to, like, rework the script a couple of times because the Bonnie shit ended up being like a side part of the video, and he mainly spent most of his time defending himself. Because apparently a lot of people were like, who is this new guy? Get Hashi on? This is Kratos. Hashi
is a bitch. I'm better than Hashi.
Hashi does not like FNAF at all. So, anytime we actually talk about it in a Discord call, he just immediately leaves. So,
yeah.
We're never getting him on a stream like this, ever.
Yeah.
But,
I'm cooler than Hashi.
Apparently people...
Hashi stinks.
I don't know why so many people thought that, like, his worst theory was the whole Gregory shit. It kind of baffles me, but,
Like FNAF, I don't know, I haven't seen too many of his older FNAF videos. I've only really seen the most recent one and I think in one video he was like explaining that Michael was the purple guy or something like that. I remember watching that like a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
or something like
there
that.
was a time where he was like well, there have been like a couple times where MatPat just missed so hard that Scott literally had to go to Reddit and just be like, no, that's not the case. Michael is not like the purple guy or anything.
We need to find all of those Reddit messages and put those in the scan server as well, by the way.
Yeah. FNAF is
And we
too
gotta
scary
finish
for Hashi. That might be true.
Yeah. I mean, he plays like...
Tank Gang.
Yeah. He plays some pretty poopy games, so... He might get scared when the furry monsters try to come and eat him, you know?
Furry monsters come to get him.
Yeah. He wouldn't be able to handle that.
Alrighty. We'll give this like a few more minutes, let some people join in, and then we'll finally just give this video a gander and see what he does to...
A gander?
Yeah, a little gander.
Yeah. Australians rubbing off on you, huh?
Someone said, oh, nah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. I'm just waiting till the whole Vanny and Vanessa shit comes out and see what he says. How long have I been into FNAF? I mean, there was just a time where I was into FNAF, and then I like stopped watching it, and then eventually when I actually got the computer to play.
I've been into it since.
Oh, it's reconnected. Never mind. But yeah, once I eventually got like a better a computer that I can actually run Pizzeria Simulator on, then I got back into it.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start getting into it?
Well, I've had a Mac, so I remember buying the. Yeah,
that was my issue. Yeah, that was my issue with when Pizzeria Simulator came out, was that you couldn't run it on a Mac.
You can't run any of them on a Mac for some reason, because I remember back in like 2013 or 14 when the very first Five Nights at Freddy's came out. It was like a really big thing, and I eventually like convinced my mum to get it for me, and we paid like $12 or $5, however much it cost, and then we found out that we just couldn't play it on the Mac. So I kind of like converted to just watching videos with Harshly Critical. Like those were god tier videos, and then I kind of jumped off the train for a little bit for a couple years after like Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and then I came back like recently and I found out that there's like 20 different games that came out and there's like 100 different books. So I've been trying to get back onto it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about the books, dude. Like, I had absolutely no clue that they were doing, like, official releases for novelizations and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, that shocked me.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
My theory is that Patient 46 is Gregory. Oh, no.
Well, your theory is wrong.
Look. So. I don't know. I feel like the video the 8 to 9 page script I made on Vanny and Vanessa being different, and Kratos took a little look over it.
Edited majority of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And without a shadow of a doubt, I don't understand how you can say that Gregory's Patient 46, especially with the whole fact of them like having encrypted messages where they're manipulating somebody. Like, who would Gregory be manipulating? It's just like, is he manipulating Vanessa? Like, it just leaves like a lot of things.
Right?
It's like, it leaves a lot of things unanswered if you just assume it's Gregory, and there's just like and it's like, I guess Gregory is also a psychopath. If that's the case, like, he was if so, he was unfazed by the like new therapist showing up, and it's like, oh, by the way, I regret to tell you that a lot of your previous therapists have gone missing, and one of them is dead. Who's patient?
And
40...
then it's implied.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's implied as well that patient 46 killed the final therapist.
Yeah.
So you need to explain why Gregory, because for starters, patient 46 is like a technological genius. And I'm not gonna lie, pardon my language, but Gregory's a fucking retard when it comes to technology and whatnot. He needs help and can't even figure out how to fix up Freddy without the aid of the machine.
Well, that's what I had to point out to you, where it's they call him a technological genius, but if it's Gregory, then MatPat is still arguing that Gregory's a robot and he refers to the books that's they can eat bleed. I think that was probably a typo, but the Gregory being a robot thing is fine, honestly. I don't think it's that bad.
But it's not that big of a deal if he is a robot. Why? I don't know why people are getting so angry over it. What does it change in being a robot?
That's like when somebody in our server was getting mad over people saying that Monty beat up Bonnie. But I'm if that was true, how does that at all change the narrative of the story? How does that change anything?
Yeah, it literally does. People just want to be right. And it's that's one of the weird things that I found with Five Nights at Freddy's is that we say it in the script, but the majority of the series is extremely vague and it's extremely open-ended. And I guess people within the Five Nights at Freddy's community prescribe to these theories so hard that it fundamentally destroys their person when they're wrong. Which is
some of them.
Weird.
Again, I feel like the whole Vanny thing. Again, I've talked to you about this before, and it's going into Security Breach, we were all led to believe that Vanny and Vanessa were the same person, but I feel like it's my personal theory that they changed because they were so in tune with the community and they knew what we were thinking about at the time, that they didn't want us to be right about everything, and they wanted us to subvert expectations, so they ended up adding in more evidence towards them being different. So I think the intent had changed mid-development. And we know a lot of things get taken out. Yeah, I was saying things have been taken out of the trailers.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And we're still getting DLC as well. And we're getting comic books too, so...
Oh, yeah.
We'll probably get a definitive answer soon enough, I reckon. Yeah. So...
And I'm full, ready to be wrong about Vanny and Vanessa being different people. If they just...
I'm not.
I confirm... Well, I'm open more. If it ends up answering more things than because my whole thing is that the Vanny and Vanessa, them being different, answers way more questions than them being the same does. Because now a lot of things are not answered at all. And a lot of things are either contradictory, there's no answer for them, or you just have more explanatory power when it comes to saying that they're different. So I feel like it's a lot more interesting.
Yeah, it's I am willing to change my mind about the whole Vanny and Vanessa thing, but I feel that if I don't want, let's say they reveal that Vanny and Vanessa is the same. I don't want it to be revealed in a way that doesn't answer anything. Because if they just say, oh yeah, Vanny is Vanessa, it's okay, well, when revealing that, you should at least explain the whole situation with the CDs, with VR sisters, with Help Wanted and all of that stuff. I feel if they are going to reveal that it is just Vanessa, they need to do it in a way where it explains what would seemingly be a contradiction with all of those things I just mentioned, right?
Yeah. The problem is that, it's just like you said, it's not like they can just come out on Twitter and just say that they're the same or they're different or something, because that's not going to
accept that.
Because that doesn't help anything. If they end up doing something like that in the DLC where it helps give a more concrete answer or something, or they do that in a game, or if it's done something in the books, oftentimes Scott will purposely make certain stories to help draw parallels that would help answer lore implications within the story of the games. That was because for a while MatPat was just this hardcore dude saying that the bite of 83 victim, or the crying child, was Michael. But then one of the novels came out, and basically it was a hard parallel to Michael, and it helped like convince them that, like, without a shadow of a doubt, that Foxy Bro is Michael.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think MatPat is saying, okay, I can't say. Wait a second. Oh no, that's a spoiler. I just we're gonna now finally just watch this video. I think that we've given enough time for people to hop in, and it's now time to...
I read that. I read a little bit of that comment, and
I
if
know.
that is the case, MatPat's a retard.
Okay. Well, we can't say that too many times on stream, but...
Yeah. I
Okay.
know, but we'll find out.
Okay, but I hope he doesn't say that, because I will have to show the Twitter that I sent to him about the whole thing. Because I literally contacted him about, like, I tried to contact him through Twitter about the whole Vanny eye color theory. But I might just have to go over here if that's what he says in the video. We'll see. Alright.
Alright, let's go.
Do you hear it?
Have you ever heard of Fortnite, Gregory? You need to floss.
Oh, can we skip this?
Floss, Gregory.
Oh, no. Oh my god.
Well, this is embarrassing. I'm gonna let you guys have this one, and I'll see you next game. I always come back, and you know the bit.
I'm honestly with some of the community in that William Afton should be gone. He should stop being the overarching villain of the series. It needs to be someone else. Like, I think we've seen enough William Afton.
I feel like that it's like a similar type of thing to like how in almost every single DC game they always have Brainiac as the main villain.
Yeah.
Right? And as cool as that is, it's like I would have been completely fine with this game if it was just entirely Vanny, right?
Yeah.
And William just wasn't involved at all.
I think that was a lot of people's critiques, was that in the trailers it seemed like heavily that we were going to be dealing with Vanny most of the time, but if you actually play the game, you rarely encounter her at all. Like,
you see her like 3 times.
Apparently,
and then like endings, yeah.
Oblivion told me that there used to be like a Vanny meter. In which if you and if you stayed in an area for too long, then eventually she would show up. Like,
bro, that's way cooler. That's
way better than what they currently done. Like, why didn't they add that in? It's
like that way you just can't camp out in one specific spot the entire game.
Yeah,
like, that would have made things a lot more difficult.
Yeah, and it's not just like now it's not just like a hide and seek. Now it's way more of like a cat and mouse and hide and seek. Like, you're hiding from the animatronics, but you're running away from Vanny. Like,
yeah,
Vanny just seems like almost like a non-threat most of the time. Like,
maybe that was the original plan, Surfbone. Like that idea, and then in that scenario, maybe Vanessa was meant to help you against Vanny, right?
Yeah.
And like help with the meter and all of that shit. Because yeah, I don't know. They obviously scrapped a lot, which is kind of disappointing, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that's proud to pick the nerdiest option available.
Anyone that picks Monty Golf is just a nerd.
Woo! Gator Golf! Joke's on you, Mark. Fazcam is OP. Plus, being a nerd allowed me to discover the secret daycare room and sister location room. So who's the nerd now? Me. Still me. Last time we
I will say Mark did find those rooms, though, in his playthrough.
Yeah.
So.
dove into the time travel ball pit that is Five Nights at Freddy's security breach, I walked
Nice
away
reference.
with some,
I get that
let's
now.
just call them
Yep.
divisive conclusions. Basically, it was an episode with 3 separate theories packaged together. We proposed one, that Glamrock Freddy wasn't just your average sentient animatronic, but rather was possessed by the spirit of Michael Afton doing everything he can to protect Gregory. This one was generally well received, so cool, let's keep going. Why would Michael protect this random kid? Well, because 2, Gregory, whether literally or symbolically, canonically is Michael's younger brother, FNAF 4's crying child. I started to lose people at this point, but it was really theory number 3 that threw us for a loop, because there's a good bit of evidence in both the game and in the history of the franchise to suggest that 3, Gregory is a robot, the crying child's consciousness literally transplanted into a robotic body sometime after he dies in the bite of 83. Oh, and there were a lot of strong opinions on that, with some people really liking the theory and others not so much. Suddenly I was flooded by people saying that I had rushed it out just to ride the trend, or that it was my dumbest theory ever, to which I say no, Deadpool is Ernest Hemingway is my dumbest theory ever. Closely followed by Wario being 10 feet tall. Anyway, the outcry was...
I'm glad he did, like, mention that, though, that, like, that he kind of, like, addressed the whole, oh, MatPat rushed this out so he can get a new theory out, so...
Yeah. I'm glad that he's not doing that with the whole Vanny thing. And
yeah.
Like Vanny and Vanessa.
Yeah, and this is not the Vanny and Vanessa video.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing some things here.
Is that you on the right, Surfbone?
No.
Is that your Twitter?
I wish. I feel it tells me that he's looking at Twitter, so that's...
Yeah.
I wonder.
I wonder if he'll bring up your tweets.
That I ended up trending on Twitter because of it. You know, didn't get
no.
much better from...
No, this is all the animatronic
weird
stuff.
side note, later in the same week...
Yeah, it's just people complaining to him.
I was trending again because a group of performers juggled to the song Megalovania during an event for none other than the Pope. It only took 5 years, my friends, but it looks like that Steam code I gave him for Undertale finally paid off.
They called me a madman.
Anyway, like I said, a lot of heated opinions on the last one, with Twitter basically boiling down this 18-minute long 4,000-word theory down to this single image. So, yeah, thanks.
That became a meme template for a couple days, like...
Oh, really?
Yeah, like on Twitter, I just relentlessly see the whole, like, he's like, doesn't he look similar to you? Brown eyes, hair strand, dark eyes, striped shirt, shorts. Ladies and gentlemen, Gregory's no other than, and then it's just like some character that also has those same features. Like, it was a meme template.
I was kind of like shaky on it because, like, it's like at first glance it does sound really, really stupid, but like when you take into consideration how specific they are with their games and their details, it's like I can kind of understand.
This is too much of a coincidence. You can't just chalk this up to a coincidence. There's no way you can't just be like, this is just a coincidental, like, oh, let's pull up generic boy and make him like the design for the character. It's like that's never been a. That's never how FNAF works ever. Like, they're almost never about coincidences most of the time. So,
yeah.
Thanks for not including literally anything else from that last video. So before we get to the next theory all about Vanessa, let me just address some of the biggest counterpoints I saw to the previous. Before we get to the next theory all about
well,
for the connection between Baby and Vanessa, skip to 11. Ooh, that's Okay. Wait, hold on. I'll hear him out, but like, this will be interesting.
Vanessa,
I won't
let me
block
just
my
address
ears.
some of the biggest counterpoints I saw to the previous theory. Not because I'm convinced I'm right, far from it, in fact. But
wait,
I think that the
Surfbone.
Gregory is.
What?
He said Vanessa while having a picture of Vanny up on the screen, bro.
Wait, did he? Wait, let's go back.
Yeah, he did. Did he just say
all
Vanessa?
about Vanessa. Let me just address some...
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I was just like, wait, did he say Vanny or Vanessa?
Anything else from that last video. So before we get to the next theory all about Vanessa, let me
Look, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that this was... Look, because I've had those instances where I accidentally misspoke and like in my dimensional tiering video, I accidentally said outer versal instead of like high to high hyperversal for something. So like I've had something happen. The problem, I think because I don't think his editors are in tune with
yeah, he doesn't edit. Yeah.
Well, because like, yeah, it's like his editors are making this shit. They're just going based off of what he said. So I'm hoping, again, this was just like misspoke, but at worst, we might have to really get on MatPat's ass with this eventually. So
Yeah.
what if Kratos from God of War 3 was in FNAF? Why? Why?
I feel like I don't even want to explain what Kratos would do to the animatronics.
Look, he would probably he would look to fucking. I mean, would he be able to? I can't remember. Could Kratos see souls?
He can see souls. Yeah.
I was gonna say, could he see like, I don't know if would he be able to see like the souls within the animatronics and feel sad for them?
I mean, without like turning this into like a fucking Kratos video.
Yeah, like
he can see souls floating around outside of their organic body, and since like the animatronics wouldn't be the soul's organic body, I guess he would be capable of seeing like a soul reside into it or like surround it. He would be able to see something like that. So I guess he would find it weird, but I doubt the animatronics would even attack him anyway. He does not look anything like William or Michael. Right.
Someone said, how can you say which ending is canon to Security Breach? I don't know if there's
I actually think there's stuff within the code Surfbone that actually reveals the true ending.
We need to like literally rip the game apart and find out which part they claim was the canon and really just dial deep in. I feel like the consensus from the community, at least, is that the true ending, or the one with Burn Trap and the Blob, is the canon ending. But it's not like you can't just discount and say that the other endings can't happen or doesn't help provide evidence for anything else.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even when the DLC comes out or whenever the next game, like that's what we typically did with the previous games, is that we don't usually come to a consensus on which is the quote unquote canon ending until the next game comes out. Like with Five Nights at Freddy's 3, for example, there's obviously the good ending where you free the souls, and then there's obviously the bad ending when you don't free them. We obviously know that the bad ending is canon because we obviously know the souls are still trapped to the animatronics after Five Nights at Freddy's 3.
It was like because Dako actually asked him which one was like actually happened, and because he knew that him just like he can't just say which one is canon, he would have to go into a full in-depth explanation, and he felt like people wouldn't even be able to accept that even if he was able to answer it, so he just decided not to answer it, which is honestly fine. Do you believe the 2 Golden Freddy theory? If you're talking about 2 souls being inside Golden Freddy, I feel like there's a lot to indicate that there's 2 souls inside of him. But anyway,
well, if you like prescribe to the theory that like Gregory is a robot that holds the soul of the crying child, then you'd kind of be like doo-dooing on the idea.
I can't remember what I think MatPat explained in the video that he may have been released or something. I can't remember what the explanation was. Maybe he brings it back up in this video, but we'll see.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Like, whatever.
Just address some of the biggest counterpoints I saw to the previous theory. Not because I'm convinced I'm right, far from it in fact, but because I think that the Gregory is crying child theory currently fits the best with everything the game has presented to us thus far. First, one of the key pieces of evidence last episode was this line right at the start of the game where Freddy says to Gregory,
"I feel you are broken."
This, to me, was a clear connection back to the crying child from FNAF 4 where psychic friend Fredbear says to him, "You are broken." I mean, kinda speaks for itself. It's a parallel that's made stronger when you actually remember how that line gets delivered back in that game. There was really no way of knowing back when FNAF 4 was released, but thanks to a secret room found in Sister Location, we know that psychic friend Fredbear is actually a plushie with a walkie-talkie inside of him. A walkie-talkie that allowed William Afton to scare and manipulate his youngest son. Father of the Year, ladies and gentlemen. Also know that throughout FNAF 4, all of William's lines use the color FFFF57, a bright golden yellow. Golden bunny, golden yellow make makes sense. But the iconic final lines of "You're broken, I will put you back together" actually use a different color, a lighter yellow, FFFFA0. Back then, we never really came to a satisfying explanation. Was it a mistake? Was it another spirit? Was it maybe the puppet? But now, 7 years of investigation later, we know for sure. Someone else is indeed talking here. Someone who, in sister location, is mistaken for his dad. Someone who turns purple, just like his dad. Someone who can't die, like his dad. And someone who had the lines immediately prior apologizing to his kid brother, but when that didn't get through, decided to try comforting him through the voice of his best friend. It's Michael Afton, represented by a lighter color of yellow, a color that symbolically connects him back to his father. In short, we have Michael Afton in FNAF 4 saying the line "You're broken" to his brother through the voice of a Fredbear plush. And here in Security Breach, if we're right about all this, we once again have him saying the same line, "You're broken" to his brother through the voice of another Freddy, this time Glamrock Freddy. I personally think it's a really cool narrative connection between all these games. But a lot of people were quick to point out that there's dialogue in the game files that was cut from the final release, where
oh boy. Okay, let's
I mean, the whole unused thing is stupid, but I actually haven't heard these. Let's see if they actually say anything interesting.
Yeah.
Freddy says that Gregory is bleeding. Specifically, he says,
"Your arm is cut badly,
and
I am detecting blood. You are injured."
This, for many people, disproved that Gregory's an animatronic, and I actually have two things to say about that. First, when I've used cut lines of dialogue in the past, the internet has in no uncertain terms told me that I can't. But now apparently it's okay. Kinda inconsistent there, guys, and honestly, I think cutting it, regardless of the reason, shows that it didn't
pause it real quick, Surfbone.
Yeah.
With obviously Matt is about to like explain it, but it's just very, very specific that they're saying that they've changed, "Oh, you're bleeding," or "Oh, there's a cut on your arm," to "I believe you're broken."
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. You know what I mean?
Like, again, how does, and again, just like, because this is when, like, I remember when Pop Goes was doing that whole Twitter thing. It's like with the scrapped AR emails saying that, oh, like that, I think that's definitive proof that Vanny and Vanessa are the same person. It's like, again, they were scrapped. They're not used. Like they were made so that then later, if they decided to go with the narrative that to use that to help prove that Vanny and Vanessa are the same, they would have made that a thing in the AR game in the next update. However, they were scrapped.
Not used.
Yeah,
unusable. Not in the game.
It's like the whole thing with it's like when people, because like I'm sure you've seen Parrot's video on Death of the Author, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, so what do we consider canon? It's like if we just find his and it's like in like Roland Barthes is like saying, just like if we see like a notepad that had some notes that like the author made like several years ago about what he was gonna make for dinner that night, does that mean anything in terms of the story that he wrote at the time? Like,
yeah, it's
like, is that just now canon because he's the one that wrote it? Like like how it's this whole thing like, oh, and now MatPat is calling out the community for being inconsistent with, oh, you can't use those like unused game files stuff to prove your point. It's like, but now because of the whole Vanny and Vanessa thing and to disprove his theory for like the Gregory thing, now it's okay. Like,
it's ridiculous. It's hypocritical. Like, that's how the fandom is. But I mean, I'm prescribing more to MatPat's theory now. Like, I agreed with it before, but
yeah,
I think it's perfectly fine now.
Yeah,
and listen, Surfbone, that actually betters clarify things for us.
Yep.
Because if he doesn't think that using scrapped emails and scrapped codes and whatnot is okay, we're obviously not going to get that argument within his Vanny video.
Yeah,
right?
We'll see.
So that's actually like a little weight off the shoulders there.
the game. But anyway, if that's the case, then I gotta bring this line up. A cut line of dialogue discovered by GB Aura Recharged in the game files. This one is Freddy saying,
Gregory, I know why you're not in the customer database. I remember you from the...
And it cuts off. Obviously, it's vague. It's kept very intentionally vague. But it also shows...
Oh, that's funny.
Why did they cut that?
Well, like, I think that's just funny. Like, how... It's another one of those, like, we're about to just blatantly giving you the answer, but then they just don't. Like, God damn it, Steel.
That Gregory is special in a way that the other disappeared kids aren't. There's a reason he's not in the customer base. He's from somewhere specific that Freddy knows about. If I were to guess, I'd say like the underground pizzeria, but you know, that's just me hypothesizing. Adding to the Gregory is special idea is the fact that Chica knows his name. She calls it out in the middle of the pizzeria. Strange detail for a kid who supposedly has no records in the system. Secondly, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but in the books, because everybody loves when I go back
pause it real
that
quick,
well,
Surfbone.
Yeah.
I don't really think that like the Chica screaming out his name is really that relevant, because I remember in his previous video,
that was one of the flimsy parts of his video, was that he was just saying like, oh, the Chica lines take on a whole new meaning, and that like, oh, your parents want you to follow me. Your parents are looking for you, but like
that as well. But like he also said as well that like Gregory is possibly not even his real name, because he like stumbles when Freddy asks him the question. So it's like, okay, Vanessa knows the name. We know that Vanessa told all the animatronics about him and to get him, right, for some weird reason. So it's not that much of a leap to state that she also just referenced that his name is Gregory to these advanced AI robots, right? Like, I feel like he's grasping through straws right there for air as he's drowning. I don't really... I think that's... I don't really agree with that. But we'll see what he says.
Someone said, doesn't Vanessa outright state that she told the other animatronics about Gregory? She did. Well,
yeah,
like
exactly.
She warned him about. The other thing I was thinking about when he said this was, so we know that Glitch Trap is somewhat in the system, right? And he's infecting all the animatronics and stuff. So I feel like because of that, and like from our theory, right, about Roxy. Or Roxanne Wolf, is that she's directly talking to Glitch Trap, right?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be far-fetched that he was able to listen in on the conversations of like Gregory and Freddy, or like through like the Freddy Faz watch, and hear Gregory's name and then tell that to Chica and them.
Yeah, or Vanessa just told them.
Yeah.
So.
Or Vanessa just told them. Either way,
children do actually bleed. They can also cry and feel cold. Heck, they can even feel hungry and eat. And you don't even have to go to the books for that one. You can just see it with Chica's pizza obsession in Security Breach. So to tell me that a robot child can't bleed, I think you gotta really look at the franchise that we're talking about here. And for everyone who's confused about the timeline of Crying Child still being alive and the fact that he would be older,
and I just still can't believe Scott really just did this to the fan base and like in one of like the ultimate custom things.
Maybe he was just a little bit horny that night. Like, I don't know,
I think it was mainly just to be like, hey, like, how would it be funny if one of the cutscenes in Ultimate Custom Night was just the Yandere Toy Chica, like,
yeah.
For everyone who is confused about the timeline of Crying Child still being alive and the fact that he would be older at this point, that wouldn't actually be the case. Animatronic children in the books stay at whatever age they're built to be. Charlotte Emily actually had 4 separate versions of herself built, one for each stage of her life, so that way she could grow older, but she would just assume a new animatronic body each time. So Crying Child still being young would actually make more sense here. And to everyone saying, why would he say stuff like,
don't want to be crushed and twisted into a meat pretzel?
No, again, Charlotte in the book books is shocked to learn her true nature in the final chapters. Her consciousness had been grafted onto a childhood toy while she was alive, and after her tragic death had been placed inside of her robot body to function as her memory. So for all she knew, she was just a normal human being just like anyone else. Is it dumb? Yeah, I'll say that it is. Is it complicated? Oh yeah, absolutely. But is it giving us insight into the rules that Scott and everyone who touches this universe operate by? Yes, it undeniably is. Lastly, for everyone who spammed my feed by, yes,
I don't like this image.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm
Looks
just
weird.
gonna point that out.
Undeniably is. Lastly, for everyone who spammed my feed with pictures of sad white boys
See?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Tree. Oh my god.
I mean, maybe they're all just Gregory. I don't know.
They're all just great. Yeah, everybody is Gregory.
Yeah.
striped shirt saying that you had found the crying child. Thank you for your help uncovering the lore. I get the joke. All white boys with brown hair and striped shirts are apparently the crying child. But remember what series we're talking about here, friends. Visual design details have always been an important part of figuring these games out. Take a look at Baby. During Sister Location, she has green eyes. But when you play her minigame, she has blue ones. At least until she kills Elizabeth Afton, who, lo and behold, had green eyes. Superficial design features like this help us to connect the dots. Are they the be-all and end-all of evidence? No, but they do help support an argument. So a little brown-haired boy in shorts with a shirt and 2 stripes seems sus.
Have you ever heard of Among Us, Gregory?
Speaking of eyes, for all the complaints about the last episode, no one seemed to have any answers to what I see as the 2 strongest pieces of physical evidence here. Why does Gregory look different when Freddy gets Roxy's X-ray eyes?
You look different to me.
And secondly, why does Gregory's vision glitch when he sees Vanny? Why does he have such a weird visual reaction to her and to literally no other character in the game? Well, you hear that high-pitched ringing sound as Vanny skips and gets closer?
Yeah.
It seems to be a disruptor that makes her invisible to animatronics with older model eyes. In the Fire ending, Freddy, who couldn't see her at any point in the game, explicitly says,
I can see you now. I have new eyes.
I mean, this is exactly how the much-hated sound illusion discs from the books work, creating a high-frequency sound to make people and robots invisible and or look differently, but I'm already fighting a losing battle over here, so I'm just gonna gloss over that one. Anyway, to me, it reads as Gregory's robotic eyes being disrupted. I mean, why have CRT lines over the screen and not some other type of filter to show that his vision is getting disrupted? In fact, why have the same CRT lines as the security cameras all around the Pizzaplex? But there's one final piece of evidence I'd like to talk about to help solidify that previous theory before we move on, and that is the screenshot here of the final scene from the Savior ending, where you rescue Vanny from the control glitch trap. And I use quotation marks here because there aren't any official sources giving names to the various endings. In the game files, they're just labeled as S1, S2, and S3 based on the number of stars that you get for them. It is worth noting, though, that this is the only 3-star ending that currently exists, which seems to imply that it has some level of importance to it. But here we see our 3 main characters, Gregory, Freddy, and Vanessa, all sitting on a hill, which, as I pointed out last time, is very similar to the
Okay. To be fair, it's kind of ambiguous whether or not that was Vanny or Vanessa that left the Pizzaplex after you say Vanny. Okay. Kratos.
He said when you say Vanny, and then he said Vanessa.
Look,
and he didn't specify.
Look, that's his fault, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt and saying that technically you cannot. It's kind of ambiguous who you see at the end of the Save Vanny ending, like. So.
Continue the video.
Here's Gregory, Freddy, and Vanessa all sitting on a hill, which, as I pointed out last time, is very similar to the FNAF 6 Gravestone Hill. But that's not what's important here. What I want to point out is the ice cream. Gregory is holding a golden Freddy-shaped ice cream with part of its head bitten off. If Gregory is not meant to parallel back to the crying child in any way, shape, or form, then this detail is just mean and irresponsible. This ice cream is the crying child's story coming full circle. He was terrified of animatronics and ended up being being bitten by the Golden Freddy spring suit, but now he's the one sitting on a hill taking a big old bite out of Golden Freddy. That is not me reading too much into this. That is me lightly interpreting a very clear image that was put directly into this game by the designers. It is barely even subtle. And despite him wearing a blue shirt in most of the endings, here his shirt is colored purple, just like his father's signature color. Couple that with literally everything else, his lack of records, the fact that he goes into the
I don't know
charging
about that one,
station.
Chief.
Yeah, I don't know. That could just be a lighting effect. But
Yeah. Like
it's
the shirt
whatever.
literally looks like a darker bluish purple right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
That might be a bit of a stretch, but it's not like it really means anything if you disprove that, if you just throw that out, so it's a little nitpick.
It's just
I
better
stand by
support.
my theory that Gregory is an animatronic of the crying child. Is it a perfect answer? No. Do I love the fact that it complicates the lore even more? No. But does it answer the most questions with the evidence that we have? I believe it does, and it's a heck of a lot better than Fazgoo. But now, 4 pages into this episode, let's actually stop to talk about Vanessa, shall we? Last episode I made a passing statement about how this final image felt to me like the 3 Afton children getting reunited. Crying child, Michael, and Elizabeth Afton. William's daughter that done got scooped by baby back in sister location. It's a scene that, to me, feels like the narrative finally giving them a sense of closure after they quite literally die as a result of their dad's evil deeds. Last time I briefly made mention of Vanessa's blonde hair and green eyes, which is the same as Elizabeth. And here, in this ending, we actually see 2 scenes of her wearing the signature Afton purple. Even the ice cream cone, as opposed to something like Gregory's novelty pop, is a potential callback to her death, where baby delivered an ice cream cone to her before she did the scoop. And when you look at the connections between these 2 characters, it's more than just a couple of visual similarities. The biggest secret in Security Breach right now is a series of 16 retro CDs, invisible collectibles that only Freddy can see, hidden in every obscure corner.
Oh no.
Let's just see what he says. Let's see what he says. Let's see
Man,
what he says.
we're getting to the CDs already? Okay. Man, I didn't think we were going to talk about it here, but...
corner of the game's map. Then, to play these things, you actually need to have also found the secret sister location room that we talked about last time. Now, these CDs are, they're problematic. They open up a whole separate can of worms. They're recordings of therapy sessions following 2 separate individuals, Patient 46 and Patient 71. The exact identity of Patient 46 is a theory for next time that will absolutely launch us into yet another flame war, but...
That looks like a guy.
I don't... Okay. So, I don't know if I remember telling you. So, the debate going on for Patient 46 is that it's either Vanny, it's Gregory, or probably the dumbest one is Michael. Now, this may just be like an ambiguous one just to like... This may just be an ambiguous one. The Michael one just does not make sense. I don't know how you can make sense of that, but I feel like it may just be an ambiguous one because...
Yeah, just like an ambiguous image. Yeah, so that you don't
so I'm gonna... Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I could believe that.
And to be fair, if you say it's either one of those 3, you're just gonna start a flame war with the people that do think they're like either Gregory or Michael, so... Or Vanny, so...
It's obviously Vanessa is 71 as well, so...
Yeah.
Patient 46 is a theory for next time that will absolutely launch us into yet another flame war, but early in Patient 71's tapes, we learned that it's actually Vanessa speaking.
Hello, Vanessa. How are you feeling today?
These are recordings from therapy sessions that Vanessa had while she was at the job for the FNAF AR game's special delivery. She mentions speaking to a man named Lewis on several occasions, and we discover that she's also buying fake fur, both of which are things that we see in emails from FNAF AR. By the last of Vanessa's recordings, she's leaving that job for a new job somewhere else. Most likely the job of security guard here in Security Breach.
I'm needed somewhere else now.
But let's
They
start
literally
with the good
reference
stuff,
Pizza
shall we?
Place,
In Vanessa's
so
second tape, we learn about a custody battle that happened between her parents. Her dad won using manipulative tactics, forcing his daughter to falsely testify.
Your dad made you follow instructions, didn't he? I'm talking about the custody battle between your mum and your dad. Your dad didn't play fair, did he? He used to make your mum look bad in court.
After losing custody of her daughter, Vanessa's mother, well, here's what the tape does.
I know your mum after she lost the custody case.
It glitches, implying that her mother ended her own life, which would explain why Mrs. Afton is missing from all the games, and why she may have wound up being rebuilt as the motherly Ballora in Sister Location. A robot that, wouldn't you know it, sings about her inescapable depression now that the walls of her house are empty.
All I see is an empty room, no more joy, an empty tomb.
We also hear Vanessa lines like this.
That is true. That is something that, like, if you listened very carefully, if you're playing like the custom night during what's it called? Sister Location, you can hear her sing that in certain
that's fine.
So
That's fine.
I just thought that was like because first I thought it was just something that you find in like, I don't know, like one like the settings or something, and then but I guess people were able to extract that from the game, so.
Oh, you like those? Apparently, the janitor on this floor has a garden and has been putting bouquets in the offices here for years.
Vanessa likes flowers. A small detail, but you know me, small details could often be the biggest evidence. Who else do we know in the series that has an affinity for flowers? Well, think back to FNAF 4. Remember this random empty bedroom with a huge portrait of a flower on the wall? It's Elizabeth's room before she got scooped. Then you have Vanessa lines like this.
Lots of people know more than I do. Sometimes I need to listen.
Now, this might be a stretch, but I believe it's referring to when Elizabeth got scooped by Baby. Her dad had repeatedly and explicitly warned her not to go near Baby, but she...
I mean, it's true, like, the only problem that I have with this parallel, I mean, we'll see if he addresses it, is that... Because the only part that I do agree with is, like, if you're trying to parallel them, this part about, like, some people tell me to do stuff, like, sometimes I should listen. This, like, is, like, the best example, because William just blatantly tells his daughter to not go near Circus Baby at all. Like, never interact with her under any circumstance. And she just blatantly doesn't do that. My whole problem with this whole thing is that, like, Vanessa... is that, like, Emily, it doesn't seem like he has like a bad relationship with his dad, it seems. And like, that's like the one, like, one of the children that William actually seems to care about enough to tell him, hey, don't go near those things. Like,
not even just that. Wasn't William the one that like ordered Michael to go and free Emily from Circus Baby as well?
Well, like, and just like go, it's like, you told me to go down there and like free her. So it's like,
and it's like, if we look
like now they're all free now.
And like, without, you know, obviously spoiling our video, with what we mentioned within our video, Surfbone, it definitely wouldn't make sense for Afton to then go on and control, you know, one of the beta testers, you know what I'm talking about?
I know.
Like potentially like mentally destroy her. That wouldn't make much sense, but we'll see what he says.
We'll see.
She didn't listen, and in doing so, she ended up getting herself trapped inside the animatronic.
Don't tell Daddy that I'm here. I wanted to watch a show too. I don't know why he won't let me come see you. You're wonderful.
Vanessa also says in her tapes that she doesn't like dark basements.
I have a craft space in my basement. Maybe I could come up with something you could learn to do.
I don't like dark basements.
It's another line that seems to be pointing us in the direction of Baby, who was trapped underground for years in Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals, looking for a way back to the surface.
I've been out before, but they always put me back. They always put us...
My main question right now is, what is he going... I want to know, where is he going with this? Like, why is he making these parallels?
Is Vanessa a robot as well? Like,
I don't think he's going to go that far, but if he does,
I just don't feel if she's not a robot, I don't know what he's trying to say. How I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Us back inside. There's nowhere for us to hide here. There is nowhere to go.
And to put one final nail in this coffin, right back in the second CD, we actually learn the name of Vanessa's father.
I feel like I know your dad, too. Bill. right?
Bill is short for William.
Okay.
Yep.
That's just the game trolling us with
Yeah,
a
that's
coincidence, right? Wrong. You see, going back to FNAF AR, we learned that Vanessa's last name begins with an A. From there,
Did he say unused?
you see, going back to FNAF AR, we learned that Vanessa's last name...
Where is this?
Right there in the middle, September.
Well, I know, but I'm just like, is this a part of it?
I thought this was the unused thing.
Well, we'll see. I don't think he's going with, from the way he's going about it, I think he's just like trying to draw a parallel, not to say that like Vanessa is just an Afton, and like that's just like
Vanessa
a little
A.
Yeah.
We'll see.
begins with an A. From there, we can connect the dots. Bill A, William Afton. But didn't Baby burn at the end of FNAF 6? Well, yeah, she did, but you see how effective that was.
How are you not dead? I mean, to be fair, the thought that burning him is going to work is stupid, because people have tried to burn him to death no less than 3 times in this franchise. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work!
But here's the kicker. At the end of the game, we meet the Blob, a weird tentacle monster made up of all the original members of the series. FNAF 1's Chica and Bonnie, FNAF 2's Mangle, Sister Location's Funtime Freddy, a random endoskeleton crawling out of the bottom, the puppet mask without tears, I might point out, and Baby's face. Now, don't get me started on this being Baby's original face and not Scrap Baby's updated look where she came back to FNAF 6 in. I have words about that. Anyway, look at them all here on screen. You notice anything strange? Most of the animatronics' eyes are lit up. Funtime Freddy, Chica, Mangle, even this random endoskeleton at the bottom. But now take a look back at Baby's mask. The eyes are blacked out. So although the Blob has absorbed Baby's body during the burning down of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place, her spirit, the spirit of Elizabeth Afton, is no longer present. It is unaccounted for. It is on the loose. And as such, potentially at large within the game. Is she, in some way,
that's fine.
Vanessa? And if so, how? The truth is, I don't know. This game has got my brain in so many knots I might as well be a sailboat. I don't think there's any evidence to support any conclusion at this point in time. But I do know that this is what the evidence is heavily pointing us towards. The design similarities, the missing spirit, the purple color, the ice cream, the...
I feel like, so that is an interesting note. However, I think that's a better way to set up Elizabeth Afton or like the potential for Baby to now be like the next overarching villain, because she's not in the Blob.
Yeah.
Like, as pointed out here, and like, because similarly, Michael was not found, right? And his soul is theorized to be within Glamrock Freddy, and that's why he's able to help him resist Burn Trap's control of him temporarily.
Slightly.
So, yeah.
I'm just trying to think. It's like because like I do like the whole eye theory, because like within, for example, the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is that when their eyes are out, that's the good ending, and that you've set the souls free, right? So I feel like that's a good parallel there, but he's bringing up a lot of points that could be leading toward, and he's not trying to make a definitive claim, which is good. But the only way that he could potentially link that theory to becoming like he has 2 answers he could possibly give.
Yeah.
A, in the future, for some reason, Vanessa is considered to be a robot, right? And then that just lines up with the Gregory thing. That lines up with the Michael being in Freddy thing. Sure, whatever. Or B, he maybe has to try and claim that these souls can possess organic bodies, and that it's like maybe that. Oh fuck. Maybe, oh no. maybe the Vanny split personality shit is Elizabeth, or not Elizabeth, but Emily.
God.
Man,
oh no.
Oh no. What am I saying?
Oh no. Look,
what have I done?
Kratos, I've not heard that argument from anybody else. No one has ever just made the
Am
whole,
I the
first? From what I know,
I the first?
Nobody has made the whole thing about, oh, well, the split personality thing could just be because Elizabeth Afton's soul is not in the Blob and could be roaming down the Pizza Place, and that's why, well, I mean...
Did I just stumble across something, Surfbone?
Well, look, I'm starting to see the problems with it now, because that would mean that she would have had to have gone to the Pizzaplex first before Help Wanted, which doesn't make any sense. Well, like, she would have had to have visited the pizzeria simulator, which, again, there's no evidence for. Like, she would have had to have done that before she went to before Help Wanted, essentially.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. That seems like a bit of a stretch to me. Like,
maybe, I don't know.
Look, if some people run with that theory, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more creative than any other theory that is like going towards like the whole Vanny and Vanessa being the same, but I still don't.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
I'm disappointed in myself for that one, because I was just thinking, it's like, hey, you have answer A and answer B, and as I was thinking of answer B, I was like, oh fuck, split personality. Where have I heard that one before?
Oh no. No. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm not going to think about it.
The voice lines, the personality traits, and again, the narrative theme of 3 Afton kids reuniting and moving on after a traumatic past. It gives everyone this nice full circle ending, even if it's only meant to be symbolic. And the screen really does feel like it's the end, finally, for these 3 characters. Maybe next time we'll finally see some new faces. So enough about them, we're moving past those 3. There's still other mysteries that we have to solve here. What happened to Glamrock Bonnie? Who is Patient 46 and why are they here? What's the deal with that room full of post-it notes? Yeah, you forgot about that one, didn't you? It's important. And did you happen to notice the other missing animatronic from this game? Because I certainly did, and I think they might be hiding in plain sight. So next time, we get to cover some mysteries that don't require us talking about dead characters getting rebuilt into robots. Scratch that. We're talking about William Afton. That's kind of unavoidable at this point. Oh, this franchise is so ridiculous. Anyway, next time, we're gonna sweep up a few other mysteries as we try to make more sense out of the game that quite literally threw everything against the wall to see what would stick. Speaking of things sticking on walls, why don't you spice up your decor with some 80s-tastic...
Alright, yeah, fuck all that shit.
Yep, okay.
So
that's everything.
So the next video is about... isn't the next video meant to be about Vanessa and Vanny? I thought that's what...
He said patient... who is Patient 46, so he's going to have to talk about it.
If he does, like, yeah, he's gonna have to mention that it's a possibility that it's Vanny, right? I don't. Yeah. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's a lot to take in. Most of it I agree with. Sure, it's whatever, but you know, him saying Vanessa and bringing up a picture of Vanny. Obviously, he didn't edit it, but I don't know.
Yeah. So the whole Glamrock Bonnie thing is, I don't know, I guess I can see why people are debating about that whole thing, because Bonnie is such like a really big character in the game. And just like, I don't know, I just don't know if they're, I'm willing to hear out somebody on the whole position, but as far as from I've seen, there's not a lot to really help substantiate much, except for maybe Monty beat the hell out of him, or that like
I think that's fine.
Or something that I've come up with is that Bonnie was actually similar to Freddy, and he was catching on to the whole like what Vanny is up to. So he just hit the whole dismantle Bonnie thing and then ripped him apart. And because he was so decommissioned that they eventually replaced him with Monty.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. I don't know, that it's more interesting to me than just Monty beating the hell out of him. Like, and like, I don't know. But, that video was relatively fine for the most part. There were actually some interesting stuff that he brought up. I'll have to look at that Vanny A thing. I don't know. Let's see. Vanny, FNAF, AR. Alright, let's see, Vanny. So I'm just wondering where the FNAF... Let's see, what's in this? All of them? Lewis emails, breached emails? What's this? Oh, there it is.
What's this?
Security. Data. Oh, leak emails. Data leak emails? Wait, are these the official ones?
Well, it's data, so they're going into the data of the game. I guess. I mean, it doesn't really matter if the name is Vanessa A. Remember when we were reading on the wiki, Surfbone? Like, that could just be Vanny, you know?
Yeah. True.
It doesn't matter. Her last name could literally be, like, Acreage or some fucking something. Like, yeah.
This message.
I don't like that there's no source.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It looks like
either.
it's all just copy pasted. So
yeah, let's see. Let me read this. Our email server, maybe during okay, this is now that all the mods allowed the AR leaks to be discussed, I like to help people catch up by sorting on the emails, including the unreleased ones. So some of these are unreleased. These emails
yeah, so
are
we're just
leaked
going to ignore them.
Yeah, but are also leaked.
Yeah, no, we're just ignore them.
It's likely that these are not lore-related emails, and were just content that was scrapped. So that Vanessa A thing might not even be like an actual
in
thing.
the game. Yeah, so we're just going to ignore that, Doc. Yeah, just ignore that.
Wait, what? What is this?
What's what?
Wait, do you see? Are you watching the chat right now?
Click on that.
I don't know. I can't click. I can't click on the name.
No.
How can I? No,
that has to be fake.
Wait, this can't be real. Like, there's no way that's actually real. Like.
Yeah, obviously not.
It's
It's obviously a fake email. No.
I really. I don't know.
No, that's fake.
I mean, if it was. Look. Here's, oh, I guess, let's see. Like, hello? Can you potentially make a theory built around Purple Guy being good, potentially? I don't know how you could make that. Like, what do you... That sounds like a MatPat theory. Like, without a doubt, that might just be a MatPat theory. Like, that was like, that's probably like a troll MatPat theory, if anything.
Yeah, that's not Scott. There's no tick next to his name in the comments.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, would it show up? How would
yeah, it would.
Let me look that up real quick. Would the verification check show up in YouTube live chat? How does someone is real? I've not seen, so many people not know if a person in their chat with a check mark next to the name is not verified up. There's a real one and a fake one.
So if the check does just apply, then yeah, it's obviously not Scott.
Man, how funny would that be if just Scott just came on this just saw like a random stream that like we're talking about game theory.
I mean, listen, that would be very humbling, but
that would be like oh my god, like I missed the reaction as well. W or L theory. I think this was
half dub, half L.
I will say, well, again, some of the shit that like he said in there was like, it's probably gonna, like, a lot of those like weird instances we have to like be like, we could just give him the benefit of the doubt, and like be like, maybe that was like misspoke or something, or maybe he has the opinion now. Yeah, and like his editors can call him out. I respect you. I respect what you want to see from Surfbone. Oh, he's just talking about the whole, whatever. If it was him, he would have a check bar because Scott's channel certified. Yeah. I mean, how would you check for like an account that's not that's like fake? That's my thing. Well, like how would you go looking for the... I don't like how you can't check in a live chat. It's so weird. Honestly. But, anyway, I guess we'll probably end this stream in, like, around 5 minutes or so. So if anyone just has any, like, other questions that they would like to ask, like, go ahead and pose them. Scott, if you're real, tell me who canonically is the thickest chica. Oh no. Oh no. Don't go down that rabbit hole. If Kuros or Aista made a Freddy Fazbear scale, it would more than likely be a troll or satire.
Kuros made a Freddy Fazbear. Yeah, no, I didn't ignore that.
Were y'all a bunch of skeptics, or did y'all give your own interpretations as well? I feel like there were, like, for the vast majority of, like, well, because the vast majority of the video was him defending his claims about saying that Gregory was a robot, and we were relatively fine with it. And if anything, we feel like that's gives more explanatory power to the series and answers more questions than it poses. The only things that were like really weird were his stuff when he was mentioning stuff regarding Elizabeth Afton and like her connections to Vanessa.
Yeah.
The only the interesting note that he made was about like, all the other animatronics in the blob have their eyes lit except for the puppet and baby. So that could just mean that Elizabeth Afton's soul has been released. So, and like is probably just roaming around.
It's a bit surprising how he noted that the puppet mask didn't have any tears going down them.
Yeah, that is actually weird. I'd actually never noticed that.
What's the name of Henry's daughter? The marionette? What's her name?
Charlotte.
Charlotte. I mean, if that is Charlotte and her soul is also free, you're gonna have to also explain where that went as well.
Yeah.
That's gonna be entirely weird. I don't know how he's gonna explain that one, but unless he just thinks that it's a completely different animatronic or whatever. But yeah.
Most difficult game to analyze?
Probably.
FNAF is definitely the most convoluted. I don't think I've ever... Again, I've never seen a franchise ever spark this much controversy and, like, debate and, like, interpretation versus interpretation in theories than this one. I feel like this is why it's such a popular franchise, and not just because it has a pretty good story. It's because there's so much to solve within it. And even if we happen to answer one whole thing, then there's another thing. You're just not gonna please everybody with a lot of these theories, and people are just gonna have their own headcanons when it comes to certain things because of how open-ended and vague some of it is. So yeah. Okay. Well, I feel like, let's see. I guess I'll just answer these last few questions and I'll end the stream. Do you have any plans on debunking any major YouTubers? Major YouTube power skillers? Not power skillers, no. At least if they don't, I'll address somebody if they talk about my video specifically, because I just don't like starting that kind of unnecessary drama primarily. And I don't know, I just don't think that there's a lot of major power skillers out there. The only times I ever do that was with Noodles, which he doesn't have a problem with, so I'll mainly just do that stuff like that on his channel. If he ever happens to make a video that happened to be a total miss. Let's see. I've heard people talk about layers into Boundless. I don't consider Boundless an actual tier because I don't use the Versus Battle Wiki tiering system. I think it's complete ass. And the reason the Boundless is still there is because Versus Battles is lazy. MatPat didn't address the rooftop ending. He only briefly went over it. He'll
do that next video.
Yeah, he only referenced it because of the fact that Freddy can actually see Vanny now because of the Roxy eyes and stuff, and when he was trying to make a connection with the whole, after he got his eyes, not only did he state that Gregory looked different, but he was also able to see Vanny as well, which he couldn't before. So were you making 1 hour FNAF iceberg? I don't know if there's enough. I saw the video that where MatPat went over him, but I don't know. I feel like I know everything in regards to the iceberg shit, so I don't know if there's gonna...
Yeah.
I don't know if there's honestly enough to make an iceberg for FNAF. Any redeeming qualities of the first wiki? There's some pages... They
calc pretty good.
I mean, they can calc pretty good. With One Punch Man, they're absolutely trash. I'll have to show you just...
I've seen them. I know that most of their calcs are generally accepted and good.
Yeah. There's some pages on there that I generally think are fine. The standard battle assumptions is fine. Most of the speed tiering page, all the ones before you get to infinite speed, I think are fine.
I feel like they're calcs for specific tiers, how much TNT it would take to blow up a city or whatever. I think those pages are fine as well.
Yeah, the attack potency system, attack potency page is also fine.
Yeah.
This will probably be the last one. I'm going to end the stream. When will you release Pikachu versus Godzilla? When Naya stops doing scaling for Mario and actually helps me. So I'll for those who are been long-time supporters of my channel, I'll end the stream off with this. So Pikachu versus Godzilla, the animation is primarily done. It's mainly just that now some sound and stuff is being added and everything, right? The animation is pretty much done. The only problem is that when I brought my two experts in on both Pikachu and Godzilla, we sat down and did the scaling again, and while we have a winner, the problem is that where God's to truly stand by what I say and try to scale these characters to their utmost like beginning, like the utmost, and basically scale them as high as I can, while being like, this is like, oh, this is their peak essentially. If you give them like their composite versions, yeah, Joda and Naya. The problem is where Godzilla scales is much easier to, like his peak. It's much easier to argue that he's that high than to say he was lower. And although Pikachu can scale that high, it's going to require a lot deeper explanation and would have to go into the whole cosmology and everything, and to do all this other scaling to actually present to the viewer to make sense of why he would also scale that high. Pikachu versus Godzilla is actually pretty close, like, basically, and unfortunately Naya does not have the time right now to really go looking for the evidence at the moment, so that's why right now it's not being like currently edited, because Naya is currently doing some other scaling right now, and then eventually at some point he's gonna like we're gonna help him with the whole Pikachu scaling. So
you guys should be looking forward to this FNAF video we have coming out.
Oh yeah. Also, I will so I'll just say as well, we will be making a Vanny and Vanessa video, not just saying that they're different, but also explaining who they are and how they fit into like the lore of the series. Like actually giving an explanation into not just saying, oh, it makes more sense for them to be different, but we actually have a whole story involved with them. It's an 8 to 9 page script. Granted,
which will probably expand.
Yeah.
If we find anything new.
Yeah. However, I'm probably gonna do a quick video regarding the whole... Oh, actually, there's one more thing I want to talk about. I've probably shown the viewers before. Actually, I don't think I've shown them, but there was a time where I legitimately tried to reach out to MatPat for the whole
eye color thing.
Yeah, eye color thing. And I'll just show everybody real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was back in near the beginning of January that I made this. And this is how I'll just basically read off what I said. I'm glad that the only typo that I actually had in here was that I misspelled the word thread, and I didn't include the H there. Tread. So basically this, and I'm gonna be making like a quick video just going over exactly what I've said in this thread as like the first video, because it would be easy to make. So it's hey MatPat, I figured I'd reach out to you about the whole Vanny eye color argument. So we know obviously that Vanny has green eyes in both the promotional material and the game, and we obviously agree that the eye color is a distinct like character trait. So this is her eye colors in the game, and in the promotional art, and in more promotional art.
Surfbone, actually, before you continue on, MatPat did actually mention that he would be going over the whole yellow eye thing in the next video. Like, he did specify yellow eyes, right?
Did he?
With Vanessa. He did do that. I remember that, yeah. So
I honestly don't remember that. Hopefully he mentions me. That would be cool. But
yeah.
I'll just go over. So next part of it is but something interesting to note is that all the times that we see Vanny, or what's assumed to be Vanny, is we don't see her eyes in the game. It's either her eyes are closed, or she's too far away that we can see her. Because although this could be either Vanny or Vanessa, she's too far away for us to really tell who it is based off their eyes. And her back is turned, right? But in the Freddy and Friends on Tour episode 4, the same episode where the glitch of someone having yellow eyes in this at the very end is the same episode where Vanny appears.
Yeah.
And to further back this up to help better distinguish Vanny and Vanessa, because some people were trying to say that like to back up the whole alternate like personality thing is that her eyes will glow yellow if she's Vanny, right? But and it's like, oh, because that's like symbolizing that she's under Glitchtrap's control. However, if you go back to Glitchtrap's eyes, they're purple. And here's another thing to add. If it's Elizabeth Afton, her eyes would stay green. Like, why would they be yellow? It would not make sense. Remember,
maybe Vanessa's regular state is Elizabeth and her real personality is Vanny. Have you thought of that?
God. Then obviously the next part is something that references the books and says that Vanny having yellow eyes signifying it's like it doesn't make sense. See, we can't say that Vanny having yellow eyes signifies that Glitchtrap is controlling her. Also, we know from the Lonely Freddy story, since we know MatPat likes to reference the books a lot.
I haven't read lately. Freddy.
Is that when Alec gets mind swapped by one of the Lonely Freddy's eyes turn from blue to green, while Alec's eyes stay green. So when an animatronic or someone who was from an animatronic goes into a human body, their eyes stay the same color. Only the animatronic's eyes stay different, which is, again, backed up by the whole baby thing, right? And so we can't say that Vanny's eye color would change based solely on the idea that it's due to Glitchtrap's control or the Elizabeth thing. Plus, there's nothing within the series to back this idea up either. If you could at all give feedback on this argument, I would massively appreciate it. So that's essentially what I'm gonna make a quick video on, just so the general public knows about it. But that's basically it. But anyway, I think that's it for the stream. I'd like to thank everybody for coming by, and we'll just see you all till next time.
See you.